through the final hour. Well, let's rewind a little bit, see how we got the situation. We left you. This is Seiji Ara, get his name wrong, the Japanese driver of the car, on the Mulsanne straight, bailing out. He had his belts off, he was standing up on the brake pedal, desperately trying to get out of the car before it engulfed him in flame. And that was one of the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight. And very sensibly jumping out of the car and leaving the onboard fire extinguisher and the marshals to do its job. Well, that was one of the 3 prototypes that were in the race. One had already retired. That retirement there, chopping Hugh de Schonak's team down to just the one. And then at 12:30, the number 1 Audi, the lead car, drove straight into the pits with a gearbox problem. Now, what had happened was, during the night in the wet, particularly behind the safety car when we had safety car periods, when the gearbox had been shifted at less than full revs, because these cars have got a full rev overrider for shifting up and down the gearbox, it had actually caused some damage to the gearbox. And Tom Kristensen explained that they couldn't get 4th gear cleanly. They were having to actually back off the throttle, select 4th gear, and then get back onto the gas as you would do on a road car, not a full power upshift, and not a telemetry controlled or electronic controlled downshift. And eventually, as he was coming through the Porsche curves, just before he came into the pits, he changed up after the first left-hander into 4th gear, got nothing, slammed it back down into 3rd, and to his enormous relief, it caught, and he had a gear and was in the pits for a rear-end change. 5 minutes and 2 seconds, lost them a lap. Now, shortly after that, the Audi number 1 car, still leading from the Audi number 2 car, a monster rainstorm, similar to the one we saw right at the start of the race, brought out the safety car yet again. And what happened then was the number 2 car, which had been over a lap and a half behind the lead car, got onto the back of the lead car in the safety car period. And since then, as it's dried out, has gone onto the lead lap and is still chasing the leader. We've just seen within the last 10 minutes the remaining Cadillac of Christophe Tanso stopping at the entrance to the Porsche curves. And Tanso's car now, unfortunately, has, it seems, had to abandon